y'all. Hey, so I'm back with another video. So let me make sure my mic is up. Sorry. So we're back with another video, back with another what the fuck are we talking about video. So a few things to cover today. So let's start off with the Tank versus Tyrese versus that was maybe not this past Thursday, but I think the Thursday before that. It was a Wednesday, something like that. But yeah, it was a good time. I appreciated this versus because I felt like, now I want to be clear. Tank is always going to sing down. Tank's voice is just, it's perfect. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Tyrese is a hit or miss, but when he's really in his bag, he's really in his bag. So I felt like Tyrese, he had some moments where he wasn't doing the best. I had other moments where he sounded really, really good. But compared to like a lot of the other, like I would say like R&B verses, I feel like just vocally, right, this was probably collectively like probably one of the best. Again, just vocally. Again, Tyrese had his moments. But yeah, I really like the verses. I feel like if we're taking in the totality of everything, I would give it to Tank. But I still do feel like, personally, I don't think it was as much as a wash as everybody tried to make it seem between Tank and Tyrese. I feel like, again, yes, if you take in like the vocals and the performance and the guests, like everything in totality, yes, Tank won. But if we're just putting like all of like the records, like if we was to write the records down and go Tyrese to me still, I don't want to say he won, but he definitely was a whole lot closer than I feel like people online tried to make it be. I did not agree with everybody who said that they felt like Tyrese won because Tyrese did his actual own songs versus Tank did more so songs that he like wrote. No, I completely disagree, because if you've been watching Versus since the very beginning, meaning during COVID, it's always been like that. That is the whole point of Versus. The whole point of Versus is to, it really started off with producers. And then it started off with songwriting. Like, even if you take Neo versus Jahante, is it Jahante Austin? I think that's his last name, right? Neo is both a writer and a singer. Jahante is a writer. So when they did their verses, and Jahante, mind you, but he beat Neo's ass. Like, Neo had songs that he did himself, and then he did songs that he wrote, and Jahante did nothing but songs that he penned. That is the whole point of Versus, is to let people, obviously it's a celebration, it's a back and forth, but it's also, like I said, mostly a celebration and kind of like teaching people a little bit of like, this person contributed to this person may have put this song together and you did not know that. Like, I know a lot of the songs that Tank wrote, but for example, I didn't know that Tank helped write Under by Pleasure P. That's something that I learned, and that's one of the number one things I love about Versus, is that you tend to learn, like, a lot of things that you didn't know or whatever. So yeah, I disagree with people who felt like, oh, Tank lost because he didn't do any of his songs. That's never been the purpose of Versus. Versus has never been just, oh, you just do only your songs that you have performed. It's always been a combination of the two, right? I'm still not over Tyrese's performance of Shame. Shame is like top 3 favorite songs from Tyrese. I love that song so much. Jennifer Hudson held it down so well on the backgrounds of that song. Shame on me. Yes, ma'am. I love Shame. I love Shame. I love Shame so much. That's really all I was there to hear him sing. And what am I gonna do? I love that song so much. Oh my gosh. But Tyrese, I felt like, my thing about the verses is like, what else did y'all expect from Tyrese? Like, it's Tyrese. First of all, you're gonna be entertained, which we all were. You're gonna get some antics, which is what the fuck we got. He's gonna do the most, which is what he did. So to me, it's like everything that we were supposed to get from his verses, we pretty much got. I also want to say that Jay Valentine is so fine. Like, I need us to hone into the fact that Jay Valentine is fine as hell. When he was singing, when I go deep, I love that fucking song with him and Tank. Oh, deep in your soul. Come over and over and over, and I'll fuck you slow. I said, come on, Jay. I I love Jay Valentine. Shout out to the R&B Money podcast. I love their podcast, him and Tank. It's so good. But I love this. Shout out to Jamie Foxx for coming out. He looked amazing. He sounded good. Latoya Luckett looked like just a whole meal, like an entire meal. The dress was everything. The vocals, she looked so damn good. Who else did he bring out? He really tried it with bringing out Trey Songz, and it's so crazy, like the fall of grace, like of Trey Songz. Like, it's really a situation, and it's just like, who would think in 2026 that we will all be looking at Trey Songz the way that we do? Like, we didn't need him. He's not necessary. He don't allegedly know how to keep his hands to himself or his wee to himself allegedly. So like, let's just like Black woman, we off of him. Like he can get the fuck off the stage as far as we're concerned. Who else did he bring out? I don't know, but he did Naked. I really wish that Marcus Houston wasn't a trash ass. I just wish he wasn't trash. I really, really wish he wasn't. Outside of the whole like B2K Chris Stokes situation of it all, right? The fact that he married that child, okay, that very young, very I'm not gonna call it child, that very fresh out of high school teenager with his grown ass, to me, sealed the deal. I have nothing for Marcus Houston, but it's very frustrating because Marcus Houston really did have like a nice little itty bitty run right there, like in like the, what is it? I would say like towards the like the mid 2000s, kind of going into like the late 2000s, like pretty much like after 2006, maybe like 2007, 8. She had a nice little run. So like Naked is my shit. Sex with You is like ooh, I can't blame you if you wanna leave, da 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 da, cause I'm not the man. Oh, all because of you. Oh, you're the love of my life that I was doing wrong. But I love that. Circles by Marcus Houston. Shout out to B Cox. Like, Marcus Houston really did have a little moment, and that's also very frustrating that he's a trash ass man, and I just can't get into it the way that I used to. But know that shout out to Tank for writing it. And he was on the backgrounds of Naked. Oh, so good. But yeah, I thought that was good. I thought it was cute for the moment. I hated the host. Never bring those people back. Why are y'all reading off of y'all phone? It's confusing. But yeah, so I liked it. And I love how every time Versus comes around, like, I just want y'all to just stop. If you're not gonna watch it, then just don't watch it and don't talk about it. But I'm so tired that we've been doing Versus for almost 6 years now, and every single time Versus drops something saying that there's a new Versus, oh, y'all still do Versus? Who the fuck watches Versus? A lot of people still watches Versus. Why can't y'all just not say nothing? You can just say nothing. If you don't want to watch, don't watch. But I'm so tired of every time, like, yes, there was a nice little gap, right, of there being no Versus simply because of the back and forth in court or whatever. But I'm so tired now of every time a Versus is announced, oh, y'all still doing Versus? Oh, who still watches Versus? A lot of fucking people still watch Versus. That's why it's still a fucking thing. And just because you don't care, which most of the time, the same niggas who say they don't give a shit, y'all niggas be tuning the fuck in. Why? Because regardless of what y'all have to say about Versus, when Versus comes on, guess what's trending on Twitter? Number one normally. Guess what's in the news cycle, especially within black news spaces? Guess what's in the news for the next couple of fucking days? It's normally has something to do with Versus. So please, just like, don't listen to it, but please shut the fuck up. Shut up. But yeah, shout out to Versus. I would love, okay, if you guys go back on my channel, I did my own little mini Versus of Joe and Avant. I need to see a Versus. It don't gotta be them two going against each other, and FYI, Joe won that. But I would love to see Joe, not Joe Button, I'm talking about Joe the singer. I want to know Joe. I want to see Joe on a Versus, because first of all, Joe can still sing very, very well. Joe has so many R&B hits that I feel like Joe is extremely underrated. The reason I put him and Avant next to each other is because when I really think about like R&B singers, male singers, that's like from the late 90s to the like early mid 2000s, who I feel like really don't get their just due, it is really Joe and Avant. These two niggas really do have like R&B staple hits, and I just feel like they don't get their just due, especially Joe. Like, Joe has been around since like 90, I feel like 2 or 3, and I just feel like people constantly overlook Joe, and I think it's about damn time that we give Joe like the flowers that he really deserves. And the same thing with Avant. Like, Avant deserves his flowers. So I would like to see a versus with either Joe or Avant. But we need to give these people their flowers. And that's another thing that Versus does really well at, is giving people their flowers. I really think they deserve it. Let's move on. So what the hell should we talk about here? Okay, let's go to the J.Cole of it all, right? I said this before and I stand by it. I'm gonna need J.Cole to hop back in that Honda, get in it, and drive home. Don't go past go. Don't collect $200. Don't stop to talk to no fans. Like, get in the Honda and drive home. And when you get home, what I need you to do is this little cellular device right here. I need you to hand it off to an assistant or to somebody else. Put it up somewhere and lock it up. We need no screen time. Jermaine Cole, you are allowed at the most, like I do with my daughter, 1 hour of screen time a day. 1 solid hour. Everything else, you need to hand this cell phone away, because the freaking press run that J. Cole has gone on after the fall off, it has done more harm than good to me. And what to me it genuinely emphasizes is that, and I don't want to be mean about this, because the fact of the matter is all of us is online, right? A lot of us is online. The majority of us is online. And I would say even chronically to a degree. But it's clear that J. Cole is chronically online. And I think the biggest difference is that because J. Cole is a celebrity, J. Cole can go outside. You know, he did his little whatever Honda thing, but it's like, you're still J. Cole, so you can't go outside and be normal. You can't sit around people who just have a everyday, you know, they work at a restaurant, they work here, there, they work there. Like, you can't just sit and be amongst regular people because you're J. Cole. People are never going to treat you that way. So because of that, I think he literally gets the majority of, like, I guess what he feels like the sentiment is online, and he thinks that that genuinely applies outside in real life. And I love when somebody says, like, the internet is a real thing, but it's not. Because it's true. Like, the internet is real in a sense of it's something, you know, pretty tangible, and things that happen online really do affect real life and vice versa. But at the same time, the internet really isn't real at the same time, because specifically if we're talking about social media, right? Social media is mostly for people to fucking complain about shit. Yes, people say positive things online a lot too. But for the most part, especially if we're talking like Twitter in particular, it is specifically made to piss people off, for people to talk about how mad they are about something, rage baiting, all that other shit. That's really what online is for. And specifically, like, if we're talking about like the whole battle with Kendrick and Drake and how he tried to be part of it, it's like, what you need to understand is, yes, and we're going to kind of transition into Jay-Z in a minute, but it's like, yes, I agree with online, specifically if we're just talking about like Twitter. To me, Instagram, the comments is always a little bit more balanced for the most part, except like certain sites or whatever. But like Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, those are going to be like your main little places, right? And the comments, yes, it's going to be like, it's overhyped. You know what I'm saying? Like, from stands on both sides, it's overhyped. It's people, it's bots, it's people with no pictures, it's all of that. So yes, everything online is, it's like hyperbolic pretty much. It's just like over the top. Like, now it might somewhat have a little bit of what people really feel, but it's like taking that times 10. So for example, how people try to make it seem like online, like they don't listen to both Kendrick and Drake and it's just one side or the other. That's not real fucking life. Like somebody said, okay, I went to the club maybe like a month ago, right? And it's the first time. I haven't been to a club since, I went to a strip club 2 years ago, but that's not like a rule. Well, actually, I went to the strip club in Vegas in November. That was the time for my birthday. But like the last time I've been in like a club, not a strip club, because I've been to a lot of strip clubs throughout the years. I love a strip club. But like a regular club with no strippers. The last time I've been to an actual club was probably like 2018. So I have not been to a club in like almost 8 years, right? And so I go to the club, we get a section. Me and my friends, we get a section. When I'm telling you, they played, I want to think they played like Not Like Us, right? And the DJ literally transitioned from like Not Like Us to, I want to say, Nice for What? Did people in the club stop dancing because Nights for What came on? No. People continue to have a good time. Like we gotta talk about real life and what happens. In real life, nobody is stop dancing because Kendrick comes on. Nobody stops dancing because Drake comes on. Nobody is walking out the club and booing and all of this other shit. And again, this is not to take away from like what Cole may have, like felt and what Drake may have felt, backlash wise. But I'm just saying, actual outside does not really work like that the way you think it does if you're just looking online. So with J.Cole, again, because he doesn't really have the privilege of just being outside and about regular ass people to see how regular ass people think and act and fucking move, all he can really go off of a lot of times is the internet. And it's just very frustrating. It's like, yes, things on the internet, it's very annoying and it's all it is. And some of it does translate to real life. But a lot of it is extremely hyperbolic within itself. So to me, I got annoyed by a lot of his interviews because of that. I got annoyed by a lot of his interviews because to me it seems like everybody been saying, you've been straddling the fence. Like, you need to, it's not even necessarily like pick a side in the sense of, oh, pick Drake's side versus pick Kendrick's side. It's like, nigga, just be honest about how you really feel. For you to sit up there and say that when Like That came out, you didn't really feel no type of way. You was more so annoyed because you're like, oh, I'm trying to put this album out. Like, he was like, when I heard Like That, I was like, oh, okay, the song's hard. He said, but then I was like, oh my gosh, like right now is not the time. I'm trying to put this album out. Da, da, da. And do I think that's partially true? Yes. But I think you're also lying if you didn't feel like, oh, this nigga really came for me. Like, this is supposed to be my friend. The way that Cole made it seem is that him and Kendrick are very much so friends. And for you to not feel like, damn, like, I didn't even really shoot at you on first person shooter. I was actually hyping you up and then you came for me. Like, to me, that's just fraudulent to try to say that you didn't feel no type of way. Because if that's the case, why the fuck would you put out a 7-minute drill? And from everything that was understood and he even said, nobody even knew that he was going to put that song out. So yes, you had a bunch of people that was texting your phone and saying this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, if you didn't really feel it, my thing is, everybody else could have been pressuring you, but if you didn't also feel the way those people felt, even if it was this much, there's no way that you lay that track. Period. You felt some type of way about Like That. And instead of just sitting in that, nobody would be mad if you was like, when I heard Like That, I thought the song was hard, but I did think it was inconvenient because, I had my album coming out. But most importantly, I felt like it was inconvenient because I damn sure ain't about to just sit up here and let no nigga fucking come for me when I felt like, and as he said, when he made first person shooter, he wasn't trying to come at it from like a negative angle or to try to shit on Kendrick. Period. So why didn't you just say that? All of this straddling the fucking fence, it just gives like, you want to, this is what it gives. It gives that neither one of these niggas is really talking to you like that no more. Kendrick, you might really be cool with him, but he's not really texting you like that. Drake damn sure ain't answering nothing that you gotta say. So you, again, like you tried to do before, you want to play in the motherfucking middle. You want to straddle the fence versus just saying what the fuck it is. And it's actually extremely frustrating. Say what you mean and mean what the fuck you say. All it is, oh, well, because I don't like, nigga, pick up, stand on something. And that's another thing that this whole damn press run has showed me, that like the apology honestly makes so much more sense the more that this nigga keeps talking, because it's clear that Cole don't stand on nothing. Cole don't stand on shit. He don't stand on the own things that on the things that come out of his fucking mouth. You don't stand for or on nothing, period. And I just would like to say that Cam's a much better man than me. I appreciate Cole taking responsibility, but for you to sit in Cam's face and be like, I felt some type of way about you getting the lawyers involved because I'm like, oh, come the fuck on. I was busy doing this and I was busy doing that. I'm glad, like I said, that he came back and said that when he thought about it from Cam's side, it's like, it seemed like you ducking me. Yes, it is. Why the fuck would you have an attitude with him? He actually produced something for you. He gave you not one, but I mean like 2 verses. And for you to be like, for your first mindset to be like, oh, well, the fuck is wrong with this nigga? Nigga, what the fuck you talking about? If I provided you a service and you say you gonna provide it back, provide it back. He completely pissed me off. Let's also talk about the whole, oh, do you really think, when he was on, I think 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Mello and them, and he's like, oh, you know, I want to, because all he did was just address like internet narratives, which like, okay, fine. But he was like, I keep hearing, or somebody brought up the fact like, oh, you know, part of the issue is that everybody felt like for the last couple of years you've been going around saying that you the best, you the best, you the best, you the best, you the best. And so when it's time for you to prove the best, you didn't prove that you was the best. You completely stepped off. And his answer to that is like, well, I'm so tired of that because the fact that people really think that I think I'm the best rapper alive, like, ask me, do I think I'm the best rapper alive? Do you think you're the best rapper alive? Fuck no, there's somebody named Black Thought. There's somebody named, I don't know, Jay-Z or whatever the case may be. And this is my whole thing. I'm cool with the first part of his answer, right? Which is, there's somebody named Black Thought. There's Andre 3000. There's whatever. Because these are people that are Nas. These are people that are your predecessors, right? People that are legacy acts. I mean, you're a legacy act now too. But these are people that are pretty much like Mount Olympus for you. They came before you. So I don't have a problem with that. My problem with that fucking answer is when he said, even my peers, I feel like that. Like, yeah, I feel like I could go in the booth with Drake or whatever and give him this, but Drake might come back and outdo me, or I can do this with Kendrick. Like, see, that is the issue right there. I don't care about you feeling like Nas is better than you, Jay-Z is better than you, Black Thought. Those are the people that you're supposed to feel like that. You're not supposed to feel like that about your fucking peers. That's what bothered me about that. The fact that you felt like that about your peers, again, confirms to me and makes all the sense in the world why you dropped out. Because the fact that you did was not walking around. Oh my gosh, it's like new thoughts is happening every 5 seconds with this. That's why I keep veering off course. The most frustrating part specifically about the peers part is you literally are, and when I say are, I just simply mean pen to pad, not how to create a song, not as far as like having the deepest message. I'm just simply talking about pure lyricism. Pure lyricism, you are better than Kendrick and Drake. If we're just simply talking pen to pad, please calm down in the comments. I'm not talking about if he makes a better song than them, if he can structure melody, if he can, like I said, have a message that's cohesive. I'm simply talking pen to pad, straight lyricism. Nothing else is included. J.Cole is absolutely better than Drake and Kendrick as far as just his pure pen is concerned. And the fact that you don't feel like that, to me, shows in that fucking apology, shows in the diss that you had. And honestly, sir, you should have a little bit more confidence in your damn self. As I'm telling you right now, Kendrick absolutely believes that he's better than you and Drake and anybody else in his fucking class. Drake absolutely believes that he's better than you, Kendrick, and anybody else in his class. And it shows in the way that those two niggas move. Whether you agree with how they move or not, it shows in the way that they carry themselves. It's absolutely ridiculous to be a rapper and to say, like again, just with your peers, that you're not the best among your peers? What the fuck are we talking about, J. Cole? Why are you here? You cannot sit in our faces in one moment. That's what I'm saying. He's talking out of both sides of his ass. You cannot sit in our face as the public and say on one end, oh, I'm just trying to be the best rapper alive, but then also say, I don't think I'm the best rapper alive. Wayne, when he was before he was even in his prime, Wayne was walking around talking about how he was the best rapper, period. And niggas was really standing on his pen, and niggas was really arguing on behalf of Wayne. And at that time, Wayne said that he was in the same conversation where he said, next time you mention Pac, Biggie, and Jay-Z, don't forget Weezy Baby, because that's how that nigga really felt. He really felt like he was the best rapper alive, and that showed in his fucking output. And I think maybe the reason why a lot of us don't connect as much with your music is because now it's very clear that you never really felt like that about yourself. And it's crazy because your whole fan base for a decade plus, your fan base has been arguing. As somebody that's online so fucking chronically, your fan base has been arguing with other fan bases for a decade plus that you were the best, and you completely shitted. To me, even if you felt like that, you should have never said it. As somebody that's chronically online the way that you are, you pretty much just shitted on your entire fucking fan base. Your entire fan base by sitting on a damn camera and saying, not even amongst my peers do I feel like I'm the best. That's wild work. Get the fuck off my screen. That's not hip-hop. That's not being a real nigga through and through as far as this rap shit's concerned. Get the fuck off my screen, Cole. I don't want to hear from you no more. And then, as far as the whole thing about him talking about Shout out to Lost in Vegas. I was saying this before. But it's probably just because I'm old, right? But because I'm older and I've really been heavily on YouTube since like I was in high school. So maybe like around 10th, 11th grade, like so 2010, 2011 is when I really started to get super heavy on YouTube. So a lot of these people, I've really been watching them since they had like less than like 5,000 subscribers, just because I'm chronically on YouTube, if anything. So specifically with Lost in Vegas, shout out to Lost in Vegas. Again, I subscribed to them when they only had maybe like 5,000-6,000 subscribers. So to see how far they've come, the same thing with No Life Shack. My boyfriend's actually the one who put me onto No Life Shack, and that was like I said, almost 10 years ago at this point that we started watching him. So I want to shout out to all those people. Shout out to Tico Crazy. Lost in Vegas got an interview with J.Cole. I was so happy for them. And in this interview, two things that kind of came out of it from like the YouTube community that's kind of reacting to it is the whole thing about him talking about culture, the word culture, and then also like about like the reaction space as a whole, right? So the conversation was pretty much just like, oh, I think George was like, the culture is kind of like, you know, like a buzzword. It's not really a word that really means anything as much anymore. And that's what Cole was like, yeah, like it used to really mean something when we said the culture, but now it doesn't. And I want to be a little bit fair to him, because I do feel like, I swear, people never call me when I'm not on this camera, but the minute that I get on, everybody in the want to call me. Anyway, back to the whole thing about the culture word. Now, I somewhat understand what Cole was trying to say, because he kind of tied it into like when people kind of take, now he said like when black women, you know, say like clock it or tea or whatever, and then a whole bunch of white people end up saying it. I just want to make a little star next to that I want y'all to understand that it's not specifically like just like black women that came up with the whole, you know, clock it and tea and shade. Like that's specifically black LGBTQ people that did that. And because a lot of times black LGBTQ is also in community with like cishet straight black women, we just kind of pick up on their vernacular in that way. But I just want to point that out. But anyway, but I got the point of what he was saying, is that sometimes like the word woke, right? It means what it means, but it also doesn't anymore, just because of the way that like white people have like taken it and like ran with it and just made it like the worst thing in the world. So I get what he's saying to a degree, but I also think that a lot of the pushback from people, specifically that I see on YouTube, is like, again, like I said, is that you are a little bit too concerned about a specific segment like of the internet that like we just kind of try to ignore, or that like just because certain people take a word and overuse it or overdo it, that doesn't mean that the word doesn't mean what it means. And when we're talking to each other, meaning like black people or within the space of hip hop, like we understand what culture means. Like we understand what that word means, and it does still mean something to us. But I get what he was trying to say. What's that man name that always got some shit to say anytime somebody even remotely says something about Kendrick? What's that nigga's name? Punch from TDE. Punch from TDE comes out and be like, oh, now all of a sudden, like I could be here all day. I'm so tired of Punch in particular constantly trying to call everybody else sensitive, but the minute anybody says anything, it don't even have to be about Kendrick. You can think he will make anything about Kendrick or whatever. The minute that somebody says anything, here you come on Twitter running your mouth, but you claim everybody else is so fucking sensitive. Punch is the most sensitive nigga out of this whole fucking situation. Out of all three camps all together, you're the only one who still be running your mouth and saying shit. Nigga, don't nobody care. The point of the matter is nobody care. And him and the Kendrick fans feel some type of way because, you know, Kendrick was like, you know, oh, it's not me, I'm with the culture fill-in and all other stuff. And I do, to be fair, I do think that it was a little bit of shade when Cole was like, yeah, between the word culture and all of these algorithm bots and all this, like, I do think that was a little bit of shade towards Kendrick, because everybody has already said that Kendrick and Drake both got bots, but whatever. So then that's that. And then he was specifically talking about, now to be fair, he did say like some negative stuff about like the reaction space, but he did also say, like, I mean, granted, Lost in Vegas is a reaction channel. They don't even do interviews. That's their first interview ever. So like their reaction, he shouted out No Life Shack, like I said, he shouted out Tigo Crazy, he shouted out like a few people. Now some people's response to that is like, you only hyped up the people that had something positive to say about you. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, kinda, sorta, why would I hype up niggas that got something negative to say about me? Now, I agree with people in the YouTube community who is like, we're not just here to kiss your ass. Like, we're all here to tell the truth, and you could just, like, keep it across the board. You don't have to agree with us, but you could just keep it across the board that, like, the reaction. I mean, he did say, to be fair, in the interview, he did say that he thinks that the label should work better with reactors. I've been saying that for whatever. But that's whatever. That's whatever. Let's kind of transition into Jay-Z a little bit. J.Cole did briefly talk about him and Jay-Z's relationship. And long story short, from what I got from him and Jay-Z is just like, it was just like some business shit on the back end, you know, that maybe just didn't go the best or whatever. But Jay-Z did, you know, like a interview after he had dropped all of the dates, the two, actually 3 dates now for, his stadium tour, not stadium tour, but the 3 dates he's doing at Yankee Stadium. I was gonna go, but I was just like, I couldn't find nobody to go with me, so I just didn't go. I just didn't get tickets. But yeah, so he talked about him and Cole's relationship very briefly. The biggest talking point that kind of came out of the whole Jay-Z's interview was the whole capitalism talk. Now, we know a few years ago on Twitter Spaces, Jay-Z came out and said that capitalism is a word that they made up for black people once they started to make money, and we all dragged his ass to hell and back about that. And so this interview that he had, I think maybe it was like, I forgot who it was, but maybe like the New York Times or some shit like that, he pretty much said that he doesn't get like the whole concept of like billionaires being bad people, and he's like, I've never fucked nobody over to get to where I am. I never like shaded anybody. I never did anything like wrong or like, you know, exploited anybody for me to get to where I'm at. And like, what's the amount, you know, that makes you a bad person? And it's like, I love the fact, I'm not gonna lie, I was very surprised at a lot of like the hip hop media like response to this. I was very, very, very surprised, specifically the Joe Budden podcast, because then the next day or a few days later, when they had a conversation about capitalism and about Jay-Z, they all sat there and act like they didn't know what the fuck niggas was talking about or Mark was talking about. But anyway, I've seen a lot of pushback to his comments, which I'm very glad to hear. That means that we're evolving as a people. This is the thing that I think most people need to understand. And Mark broke this down beautifully in his back and forth with everybody on the JBP. We're not talking specifically about one person. We're talking about a system, okay? We're not saying that you, Jay-Z in particular, are just this terrible ass human fucking being and you don't deserve anything at all. And we're not even saying that like you being a billionaire, like just only you being a billionaire is the reason why we're all in the predicament that we're in. That's not what nobody is saying. But when you say that I did not exploit or fuck anybody over to get where I am, this is what you're not understanding. To acquire that much wealth, somebody is being exploited. Even if it's not a direct one-on-one thing, labor is being exploited at some point in time. Somebody got to get paid for example, right? I mean, I guess I could just use him, but like, I'll take him to the side. For like example, McDonald's, right? For McDonald's to be $1 billion, whoever owns McDonald's, for them to be, they're probably like a billionaire. The people that work at McDonald's have to get paid under what a living wage is. If you paid everybody in McDonald's a living wage, then guess what? Those people that have all that money, they would still have a shitload. It just wouldn't be as much as they have now. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about capitalism, and specifically when we're talking about billionaires. We're saying that for you to get that amount of wealth, first of all, people think it's wrong to hoard that amount of wealth, because for what reason do you need that amount of wealth for? I forgot. Somebody I was listening to was like, oh, somebody has like, I think maybe I was listening to the read and they was talking about Candy and Todd's divorce and how they have maybe like 12 cars between them or something like that. And it's like, that's what we be talking about when we be like, y'all hoarding resources. Because what the fuck do y'all need 12 cars for? It's only you and your husband. You niggas can't drive 12 cars at the same time. That's more cars that you can drive within a fucking week. And again, some people are like, oh, it's their money. It's true, but it also goes to the point that we're saying you niggas is hoarding wealth for no fucking reason. You niggas at the most maybe need 3. Let's just push it 4 cars. Y'all both can switch out. But 12 is absolutely ridiculous. It is. That's just the point of the matter. It's ridiculous. And so what we're saying specifically, like I said about billionaires and stuff, is that for you to even get to that amount of wealth, you are exploiting, specifically, you're exploiting a lot of things, but specifically you are exploiting labor. And I don't understand specifically how Jay-Z can sit up there and say that he has not exploited anybody when we know exactly, like, fuck it, I know Rihanna is a billionaire now, but let's go back to Rihanna's contract. A lot of y'all don't remember this. When Rihanna was still, you know, way before Fenty, way before all of that, when she was just like an active artist, y'all don't realize, I think most people don't realize that Rihanna was putting out an album every year. Not every other year, not 2-3 years like everybody else do now. Literally every year. And some years she was dropping 2 albums. Why? Because the contract that she was in, she had to do a shit load of albums for her to fulfill that contract. And for her to feel like she wanted to hurry up and like kind of get out and kind of renegotiate, all she did was pump out fucking music. And it's sad that as much music as Rihanna has made, as many hits as Rihanna has made, and this is not, again, this is not to like, oh, Rihanna so good. I'm just using like a general example. Think about this. Rihanna didn't become a billionaire until she started her own Fenty line. Do you get what I'm saying? Rihanna didn't really start getting into the money for real until she started Fenty Beauty. It's ridiculous that Rihanna had put out the amount of music that she did. She's as streamed and albums and stuff like that has been bought, as many #1 hits that she has got. For her to only really be able to hit her stride as far as really getting to the money the way that she should have, wasn't until she was done with music altogether. That is exploitation within itself. And also the fact that it has been rumored for years, people from Rock Nation have come out and said how little they fucking get paid. I'm talking about the regular employees. How little they fucking get paid, how the working conditions there aren't the fucking best. I don't even like Dame Dash, but the whole situation of Jay-Z wanting to snatch Reasonable Doubt, wanting to snatch Dame's part of Reasonable Doubt when Dame Dash was literally an integral part of you fucking making Reasonable Doubt, that's being exploitative in itself. So no, maybe never. I mean, I want to say maybe no, because to me those are examples of being directly exploitive. But in general, nobody is saying that Jay-Z is walking down the street and snatching food out of somebody's hand and then eating it for herself. We're talking about for you to get to this wealth, even outside, even within music, but outside of music, a lot of labor has to be exploited. Somebody is getting paid pennies on the fucking nickel for fucking Ace of Spades to be a fucking thing. It's shit like that. You know what I mean? So I just think that you don't want to seem like people are calling you a bad person because you have so much money. You're like, but I'm not a bad person, so I don't understand how people feel like that. And again, nobody is saying once you hit a certain dollar amount that, oh, now you're a bad person. We're just saying that for you to get to the amount of money that you have, a lot of people had to be stepped on for you to get there. That's why a lot of times with companies, people get laid off. People don't necessarily get laid off. I'm talking about for really huge companies, not like a small mom and pop shop. Like with Fortune 500 companies, a lot of times people get laid off, not because there ain't really no money there. It's because the people at the top don't want to take a loss. So you could easily probably not lay off 500 people by just the people at the top taking a little bit less. But they'll be damned if they take a little bit less. So guess what? The rest of y'all have no fucking job, because I'm not about to not be able to get a new Porsche or not be able to put up gas in my yacht or not be able to buy a new yacht because of whatever the fuck is going on. Now, the rest of y'all who actually depend on this money and are really going to be fucked, you know, like once y'all don't have a job, y'all might not even have a roof over your head. We don't care. Y'all niggas, y'all can go, because we at the top, we still need all of our millions, and no, we're not willing to give up a few million. Mind you, we might be worth 500 million, but we'll be damned if we give up 2 or 3 million so that the rest of y'all could work and live. Fuck out of here. And that's what we're talking about capitalism being exploited. I hope that answered y'all question, right? Moving on from Jay-Z, let's just go into Kanye West of it, all right? So Kanye, I think he dropped some album. Was it called Bully? Didn't listen to it. Didn't give a shit. From what I heard from other people that listened to it, it was fucking terrible. Anyway, nobody has given a shit about new Kanye West's music since, I want to say, the last Kanye West project that I listened to and I like genuinely gave a fuck about was The Life of Pablo. I want to say after The Life of Pablo, it just went because that's when everything else happened. Like, nobody has really given a shit about Kanye West's new music between, honestly, the way that the music actually sounds and his behavior. Nobody gives a shit. That's why when that Bully album came out, you got the hardcore Kanye fans that's gonna listen, but nobody else really gave a shit about that album. But he did do like a 2-night show or whatever at SoFi Stadium in LA or whatever, and it was a bunch of people there. Now, there's a lot of backlash that's coming from this. A couple of things with Kanye. That, and then we'll get into Wireless Fest in a second. Now, with the whole stadium thing, right? I want to be very clear about something. There's certain people that just where they are within their career and stuff, there's only but so much that you're going to really be able to do to take them down, right? Kanye West has crossed that threshold a long time ago, right? About how famous he is and how popular his music is or was or whatever. Like, he's way past that. He still gets criticized, but as far as like him having a fan base, he's always going to have one because he's built up enough of a like legacy for people to kind of still hold on to him, even though he does shitty ass stuff. So with this stadium tour or whatever, like, to me, didn't nobody go to that damn stadium tour because of that new album? Because nobody gave a shit about that new album. Niggas went because of his back catalog, right? And there's been a lot of pushback around this because there's been a lot of I just want to say a lot of you celebrities are really showing y'all hand, and we are already in the like very like anti-capitalist, anti-celebrity, like we're really starting to get deeper and deeper into that culture around here in America. And there's been a select few a decent amount of celebrities that we have seen at the Kanye West concert, and them niggas is getting dragged because everything that Kanye has done, I don't give a shit that Kanye did a fake ass apology not that long ago. You want to know why he did that apology? Because Bully was coming out. Anytime Kanye West comes out and apologizes over the last God knows how many years, because that wasn't his first apology, he always got something that's coming right around the river bend. And at the end of the day, I've been saying forever, action speaks louder than words. I need for you to like literally shit on black people, hip hop, everything like that in between for as long as you have and as deep as you have. We're going to need to see you show and prove before you can get the rest of our trust back. It's going to take a lot to build that up. The rest of you niggas clearly don't care. Dave Chappelle was there. That's not surprising because look at Dave Chappelle's politics. That's not surprising. Lauryn Hill was there. That's not surprising. Lauryn Hill's politics is all over the fucking place too. Okay, Ashley Everett, who used to be the dance captain for Beyonce, and then Chloe Bailey or whatever, right? Those two girls, I'm just speaking of them. Everybody else is getting dragged too, but those people is getting dragged, like right now I see on my timeline, because it's just like, what are we even doing? And there has also been, we're going to get into the talk about black men versus black women in a second. We're going to get into that about the whole, we're going to get into that in a second, right? But it's just like, okay, this is how I feel about Ashley and Chloe in particular. Okay, let's just say that you don't give a shit about the fact that he was extremely anti-black, extremely anti-woman, extremely anti-Semitic, like all of these things, right? Let's just say you don't give a shit about none of that. It's not none of your business. You don't care. I just think it's really interesting that for two people that's supposed to be as cool as they claim that they are with the Carter household, my thing is, even if just from a political, like socioeconomic, whatever point of view, you don't give a fuck about what Kanye said. You don't give a fuck that he talked bad about your peoples? Like, that's where I'm at. Like, you don't even care about that. You don't even care about the fact that he been dragging Blue Ivy and her mama, Blue Ivy, Sir, and Rumi's mama and daddy. You don't give a shit about that, though. Y'all don't care about that. Like I said, even if you don't care from a political, and to me it's not even political, because being racist has nothing to do with being political. That's just what it is. All of the fucked up shit that he has said. From a personal level, you don't even give a shit that he talked badly about somebody that y'all supposed to be so fucking tight with and cool with. That's weird ass fucking behavior to me at the end of the day. But we already be side-eyeing Chloe's relationship with Beyonce and Parkwood anyway, and have been side-eyeing Ashley Everett and whatever relationship she has with Beyonce. We've been fucking side-eyeing that, because there's something in the milk ain't fucking clean over there either. I just think that it's trash, it's trash, it's trash. Again, this is how I feel. Support who you want to support, which we're going to get into Chilli in a second. Support who you want to support. That's fine, child, but people also have the ability to not support you if they don't want to, for whatever fucking reason that is. For whatever reason y'all are deciding to want to support Kanye, that's fine. The rest of us have the same right to be like, we don't fuck with you because of it. It goes both ways, and that's what's frustrating. It's like when people always try to talk about, oh, to cancel, oh, you don't want to deal with me because of something that I said that you don't agree with. That's my fucking right. The same way it's your right. Like, people want to be able, this is what pisses me off, people want to be able to have the right to offend people, but also be able to make a bag from those same people. Oh, you want to not buy my stuff because I said something that you don't like? Yes, bitch, the same, that everybody has a right in this fucking country to do that. You have the right to say whatever the hell it is that you want to say, but it's not without consequence. The same way you can support who you want to, we can decide as the public that we don't want to support you for it. And I'm sick and tired of specifically celebrities walking around here keep trying to play, oh, they cancel me, everybody's so fucking sensitive. No, niggas is allowed to do whatever it is that they want. If you can run your mouth and say whatever you want, then we as the public, especially to me, people who you're providing a public fucking service, comedians like Dave Chappelle, Kanye West, Chloe Bailey, y'all are literally providing a service kind of to the public. It's not like it's something that's just yours and you keep to yourself. You need the rest of us for you to actually be okay and for you to thrive. So yes, when the audience that you're trying to serve something to tells you to kiss their ass, that's what we said. We don't have to buy none of your shit. All of this entitlement of I should be able to say whatever the fuck I want to say and the rest of y'all should still buy my shit is bullshit. I'm tired of it. So on top of that, with the Kanye two-night thing, then we also have the fact that, similar to Drake, Kanye West is such a Drake dick rider. We've been telling y'all this for years, that Kanye West is so jealous of Drake. It's absolutely ridiculous, and he's been jealous of Drake. Drake last year was the first fucking artist to headline Wireless Fest for 3 days in a row with 3 different fucking vibes. One was R&B, one was was rap, and the other was gonna be like more of a Caribbean vibe. Now, the very next year, mind you, and I don't know, I'm not with Maul on the this, like, he did it on purpose, but I do find it interesting that the same time that Jay-Z's concert is gonna be whatever at Yankee Stadium, them 3 days is the same damn 3 days that you're gonna be doing Wireless Fest. Now, Pepsi was the people that was sponsoring that, but I guess the British Prime Minister had came out and dragged Pepsi, as they should, about it. So Pepsi this morning yanked their sponsorship of the Wireless Fest. So Wireless Fest either A, has to try to find another sponsor that don't give a shit about all of that shit that Kanye has said and is willing to give the bag, and to not just get it back but stand behind the bag, or you get rid of Kanye West and you bring Pepsi back in and you find somebody else that is gonna be more appeasing. Trash. Let's move on to Chilli. I've been here for a long time. Let's move on. Moving on to Chilli, right? Chilli is going on tour. It's TLC, En Vogue, and Salt and Pepper. Now, I had actually watched the little medley that they did. I think it was like on American, maybe it was iHeart Radio Festival. One of them damn festivals that they did recently. I saw their little set, and I thought it was so good. I thought the back and forth and the sharing, I thought it was amazing. Whoever put it together, amazing. A little bit after this, right, they announced the tour. Stuff start getting pulled. Receipts about Chilli start getting pulled. Now, the major thing was that she had reposted when Trump had put up, like, I don't know, a while ago, like, reposted the thing of the Obamas being monkeys, right? That Chilli had reposted that. So everybody was on her ass about that. Chilli comes out and says, oh, that was an accident. I didn't know anything about that. Now, also in the midst of that, people are pulling, like I said, receipts, and the fact that she has been donating to a lot of, like, MAGA, like foundations, organizations, and things connected to Trump. So she came out and she did a video pretty much saying how, like, she didn't mean to repost the video or whatever, and how any money that she's given, it's always been specifically to the veterans, and that she's not MAGA. And it's like, okay, maybe people will believe that, but then people started to look at, like, who she, like, who she follows. And she follows, like, Tommy Loren, Fox News, Donald Trump Jr. Like, she follows a bunch of right-wing ass shit. And I said this to my mom before anybody said it. I said, my whole thing about the whole repost of the Trump, of the Obama thing is, why is that even on your feed? Like, the algorithm is the algorithm, and there's certain things that's going to be posted within your algorithm. Like, your algorithm is going to shoot out to you what you consume and what you engage with. I just learned of this new theory that people thought that, I've always heard people say that they thought that Michelle Obama was a man, but I didn't know that the whole theory about, oh, because of her registering allegedly as a male. I didn't even know that. Why? Because that's not in my fucking algorithm. It's not. The only time I see shit about like MAGA on my algorithm is somebody saying, look at this bullshit. Like, look at this stupid ass shit. That's normally the only time I see it, and that's normally if it makes like big waves. I don't follow nobody that does that. I'm like none of that. So it's just like, Chilli just needs to kind of stand in it. And then also this audio came out from T-Boss doing an interview like maybe a few years, or maybe during Trump's first term, where she said like, yeah, my bandmate voted for him. So it's just like, it's not really much that you can say. And I kind of want to get into this whole thing about how black women are treated when they're MAGA versus how black men are treated when they're MAGA. And there's, to me, like, I think it's a nuanced conversation. I do think that in general, black women, in general, not just with MAGA, but in general, they're always going to be held to a higher standard than black men are. I think that's just life. It's not right. That's just life. But I also think that audience is really, really important as well, right? So, for example, if I'm using Chilli and Kanye, because those are two people I talked about. First of all, when you looked at like that Kanye West concert, because they showed people on the floor, it's a bunch of dirty ass, stinky ass white men that's on that floor. Yeah, you see a black man here and there, and an Indian man here and there, but it's mostly a bunch of fucking white people, because at this stage in the game, Kanye West is like hard, like core stand or fan base is white males. That's just a fact. So Kanye, for the most part, is always gonna be okay outside of his name just being Kanye and his hits, is because his core base now is white men. Facts. And as we know, white men don't give a shit about nothing. Chilli in particular, as big as she was, you know, during the 90s, or TLC was, and they was like a pop group across the board. In 2026, the core of TLC's fan base, like the people that was gonna go and specifically buy tickets to a TLC In Vogue and Salt and Pepper concert, is gonna be black women. That's just the fact of the matter. It's gonna be black women. And this is no shade at all, because, and yes, right now I am generalizing, so I don't mean this to offend anybody. So like, if it don't apply, let it fly, right? In general, it seems as if black women kind of we tend to stand more 10 toes on shit that we really don't fuck around with when it comes to like disrespecting us, disrespecting black people. Like, we really don't play that shit. We really stand 10 toes on that. And especially in 2026, we do not play that shit. If you come in, if you stand in and supporting shit that comes directly against us, we don't fuck with you. Point blank, period. And it feels like men, because I'm gonna bring black men in here for a second, it just feels like black men in general, a lot of that shit, it just don't seem to bother them nearly as much. It just don't. Again, when I say this, I'm not speaking for all. I am just making a generalization here. It seems like for the most part, black men don't really tend to care when not even just other black men, but other black people, period, are clearly and staunchly against us. That's just how it comes out, specifically from like a artist kind of standpoint, you know, like whether it's a football player or an artist or something like that. They just don't seem to care as much. That's just the facts of the matter. So yes, if you have a core fan base of black women, and black women, one thing we gonna do, we gonna stand on big fucking business. We holding everybody the fuck accountable. Yes, you're gonna see more of a backlash towards Chilli, because that's more black women is like their core audience versus a Kanye West. I also want to bring up the whole thing where everybody keeps bringing up Chrisette Michele and stuff, and I get what y'all are trying to say, but like, take the whole black women, black men off the thing. I also want to say that I think that legacy and your impact, like within the culture itself, also has to do a lot with that, because people were trying to say like, they always bring up Chrisette Michele when it's like, oh, well, y'all still haven't apologized to Chrisette Michele, y'all canceled her. And I said this underneath somebody's post, because they was like comparing it to like Nelly or Snoop Dogg, and I said, this is no shade at all. Chrisette Michele had a bop here and there. Aston Martin music. Like, she had that, and she maybe had like a song or two. But Chrisette Michele was not as critical, I would say, to like black people's culture, specifically like musically, as a Nelly or a Snoop Dogg or a Kanye, hell, even a Chilli. These are people that are very integral to like people's, you know, upbringing as far as like the music and stuff that they listen to. These are people that had diamond records, #1 records, things like that. So it's a little, they're a little bit more integrated into like the fabric of like black culture, hip hop culture, R&B. Chrisette Michele is like a footnote when it comes to that. So I think it's easier to try to write people off that we wasn't even really checking for like that anyway. A whole bunch of people was not, although black women probably was, and it's back to audience, right? Black women being probably the core of Chrisette Michele's audience, right? But even with that being said, it wasn't such a huge fucking audience that it's like, oh my gosh, we can't deny her music. Oh my gosh, we can't let this music go because it's so integral to our upbringing or our this or that. It's not really the fucking same. So I also think that your star and your celebrity also plays a big part into whether or not you're quote unquote canceled or you're not. But that's just that on that. To try to wrap this up, let's talk about two more things and I'm the fuck up out of here. Brandy and Kanye. Brandy, the singer, shout out to her. She just got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Shout out to her. She had a book, a memoir come out recently. And within that memoir, she talked about her relationship with Kanye, who was from Boyz II Men. Now, there's always been rumors or whatever, you know, that Kanye and Brandy was together. Brandy in this book confirms the fact that her and Kanye was together. Now, to put this in perspective, I believe that when they started messing around, Brandy was like 15, 16, and he was like 22, 23, right? So, ew. To me, that's fucking disgusting. 22 years old, 23, that means like, if I'm just talking like regular people shit, that means you're like a year or two out of college. 15, 16, meaning you're in 10th, maybe at the most 11th grade. That's fucking disgusting as far as that's disgusting. So she talks about them two being in a relationship, how she lost her virginity to him. I didn't even know that Adina Howard was like within this mix and beefed with Brandy over Kanye. Whatever. So everybody was like, ew, that's disgusting. And then a Breakfast Club interview but resurfaced from I think 2014, where they was asking Boyz II Men about, specifically Kanye, about his relationship with Brandy and how he said yes, she was young. But you know, she was old enough to get it. That was fucking disgusting. And then said, and I think Charlamagne was like, but she was only like 16, so was that legal? And he was like, well, by the time me and her actually did it, she was like maybe 16, 17. He said by the time me and Brandy did the do, she was like 16, 17. And Charlamagne was like, but wasn't that illegal in states? And she was like, well, it depended on the state that we was in. If we was in a state where we could, then we did it. And if we was in a state where it was illegal, we didn't. And that's just fucking disgusting. It's like, what Brandy said was already enough for us, but that Breakfast Club interview just solidified that that's fucking trifling. And I'm a little disgusted because I'm the one who paid the money for my parents to go see New Edition, Boyz II Men, and Toni Braxton. So I'm a little disgusted about that, just a tad bit, because like y'all got my bread for like when y'all fucking shouldn't have. But fine, shout out to New Edition. Thankfully they met New Edition and not y'all. But it's trifling and it's disgusting. And I love how the minute that shit like this happen, the first thing y'all want to do is go and blame the girl as normal versus blaming the grown ass person in the situation. But again, patriarchy, all that other shit, I don't got time for that. Just know that Kanye, you're fucking disgusting. I didn't even know that all of your kids was named Kanye. I think that's extremely narcissistic. And for you to not, at least, you turned off all your comments, but you don't want to come out and just acknowledge the fact that it was fucked up, it was wrong for me to do. Like, that's it. It happened. It is what it is. Now, all you could do is come out and be like, that wasn't appropriate. In hindsight, it was messed up, and we need to do better going forward. But you haven't. You turned off your fucking comments because you ain't shit. And the fact that all of y'all sat around there and fucking laughed, y'all are fucking trifling too. Disgusting. Last thing before I go, the whole Gucci situation. Pooh Shiesty was arrested this last, I don't know, a couple days ago because he allegedly and his daddy and like 9 other people allegedly had ran up into Gucci studio and robbed Gucci and made Gucci like sign a contract or whatever that would let Pooh Shiesty out of his contract or whatever. Allegedly, they was caught on camera. Well, I didn't see the video, but I saw a still of the video, and it's like, yeah, bro, y'all wasn't gonna get away with nothing. And so yeah, he's locked up for that. I do think like the conversation is always going to be about, you know, like when these men, they get into positions where they don't have to do certain things, but then they do it. Pooh Shiesty just got out of jail like less than a year ago, and now your ass is back, and now you going to stay in jail because they got you on motherfucking camera. I also do think though that this is, and I love that people are also bringing this up too, because this is not to say that what Pooh Shiesty did was right, because it wasn't, but I do think that there needs to continuously be a conversation around these predatory ass fucking contracts, specifically that like artists be trying to put other artists in. Gucci is notorious. I mean notorious, similar to like Yo Gotti, for having a label, specifically Gucci, where your artists either always die or they're always in fucking jail, and how you constantly fuck them over contract wise. He's notorious for that. So again, I'm not saying that what Pooh Shiesty did was right. I think it was completely fucked up what Pooh Shiesty did. But at the same time, we need to have a conversation about these artists, like these people that are artists and then they open their own label, and how they seem to fuck over the artists that they're bringing in. It's like a continuous cycle that honest to God needs to fucking stop. And Gucci has a terrible, and I mean a fucking terrible track record with all of the artists that have been on his label. Look it up. These niggas is either dead or in jail. And I'm sorry, this is not to say that, oh, this is all Gucci's fault, but I think that somebody needs to be looking. Gucci needs to be looking a little bit more inside, since he's getting, you know, more within himself and stuff. He really needs to take a look in the mirror and figure out, why is it that every fucking person that I have on my label is dead or in jail? That needs to be a real fucking conversation that's happening. But I done talked for way too fucking long, but there was a lot that happened. But yeah, y'all get in my comments. What you think about. Bye.